Good morning. Don't kick my table while I'm moving here. Still having issues with this little engine. I mean, you've seen every time I try to deal with it. Because every once in a while, this intake valve doesn't seem to be sealing properly, and I've done everything else. We're going to try and do a quick lap on these valves, tear it all apart, lap the valves, and while we're at it, we'll check all the timing again. So the spark plug has gotten really filthy from all the time I've been trying to get it to run too, so who knows. Definitely give that a cleaning. But first things first, I'll take this head off and get those valves lapped in again, or properly, or what have you. And I have this little container that I was sticking that I have the governor weights in and the pins for those, so I have been dealing with this enough that I finally broke down and ordered a set of small hex drivers because the Harbor Freight cheapo multi-bit set I have is apparently made of soft steel for the bits, and I was feeling pretty strained with some of those, and they're deforming, so I invested in what should hopefully be a small set with the correct number of, or with the correct sizes in it, or the correct size, one of the correct sizes. This is the 1.5mm driver. Shopping for it in America on Amazon was surprisingly difficult because all of the metric sets, or a large number of metric sets, are labeled as imperial with their imperial measurements on them, you know, in thousandths or what have you. And then there are imperial sets that are marketed as metric, or that are marked as metric, and then the description has the imperial eighth, 16th, what have you. Sizes, because it's actually the dangers of buying stuff on Amazon or eBay or anywhere. You have to comb through all of the description and check everything very, very thoroughly. So, and then those head bolts are a 2mm, right? Yeah. Of course, having a proper driver means that these head bolts are going to be something to be even more careful with, because they're threaded into brass, and like all these small engines, you don't want to over tighten anything and strip them out. So go. head bolts, the head gasket, which is all covered in oil, which is a good thing because every time I start this I'm afraid that I'm flooding it out, that it's washing all the oil out of the engine. Huh. Some residue on the top of that piston, so that's interesting. I don't know what that is. It doesn't seem to be the kind of oil residue I'd expect. So, anyhow, set the engine aside and take the valves off. There's this C-clip retainer, and hold the spring down, and there's a force up to, oh, come on. Fine, let me get a tiny screwdriver bit. There, tiny screwdriver bit out of my kit here. There we go. That is one C-clip, and the valve, that is the intake valve. So we got that out, and oh, the valve seat. If I can get that up and close in there. The valve seat is very high in the shoulder. It's almost down in the corner of this recess. It's not even on the face of the valve. So, let's see now. Or it's not even on the angle of the valve. That explains why it has so much trouble sealing. Alright, now I brought a pin vise because I'm hoping that what I can do is, a pin vise from Model Engineering for tiny drill bits, and I think that is going to be that one's not the right size. Alright. The thing about pin vices is they're all so many different sizes. You have to find just the right one, and that is definitely a too big one. And they all, like, all the ones I own have double-ended maybe this is the one that will compress enough to grab that. Yeah. There we go. I found the right pin vise for that, so I'm going to take this, and like the last time I did valve lapping, I have some baking soda that I kind of just made into a heavy paste. I'm going to get in there. And we'll get the pin vise on the end there. This is clumsy, but I saw that Thomas PC Guru's thing about using a little bit of super glue to put a screw head on these, and I'm just afraid that I'll get super glue everywhere, so make sure I push my paste in there, put some pressure in, and twist it. Work the paste back up under that valve. Pressure and twist. Work the paste up under that valve. Pressure and twist. Work the paste up under the valve. Pressure and twist. Get that off of there. And then that's what I forgot to bring. A little dish of water for washing everything off. Because the nice thing about using the baking soda paste is that it's water soluble, so you can just wash the stuff off. Of course, if you use too much water, it dissolves the crystals and then they don't do anything, but yeah, I think that put a better surface in there. Alright. Actually, I should have done this earlier. Pop the carburetor off of there so it doesn't get any gunk in it. But I don't think I forced anything up in there. I didn't see anything. Alright. So, that is that. Set that aside. Make sure I keep those separate, because you don't want to switch the valves after you're done lapping them in. That defeats the whole purpose. But I don't want to put that back in until I get a chance to wash this out, so now for the exhaust valve. Alright, make sure the springs get kept separate too, because on hit and miss engines, the intake valve spring is significantly weaker than the exhaust valve spring. Now the exhaust valve, same thing. The seat for the exhaust valve is again like up on the corner there. It's not really on the face at all. So I'll get some of my paste on there. stick the exhaust valve through its hole and get the pin vise clamped on it, and then pressure and rotate, and then push the paste up under it again, pressure and rotate, more paste, pressure and rotate, there we go. All right. Okay, it's a little better. These just are not real well machined valves, so. But again, like I keep saying, at the price point these engines come in at, there are no complaints to be made about the precision in them. They've got enough precision to run for the most part, and the fact that the fit and finish needs to be tuned up when you get them is something I enjoy, even if it is frustrating sometimes. But I'm going to take a break here so I can get a container to wash off all these parts before I put them back together.